Hey founders, welcome to our podcast. We are gonna cover all the topics for founders, specifically starting from idea stage to how to raise their first check, or let's say how to get started with their revenue. We have spoke with multiple startup founders till now, and we are trying to cover each and every topic that they specifically went through and how they want to narrate this story to the upcoming budding founders, mostly from space 0 to 1. This is where we are trying to focus throughout the podcast, and here we are. So in this particular podcast, we are gonna speak with Ajay. Ajay is a co-founder of My Job Factory. He has a vast experience in managing and resourcing human resources to talented IT firms and another BPO centers and all those stuff. Currently, he is building My Job Factory. This is a technological platform that helps and reach between companies and the talents. In this particular podcast, we'll be speaking about ideation stage, how this idea came in particular Ajay's mind, and how he worked on that idea, and how he's currently performing that particular application with MNCs and big companies. As well, we have talked about funding. We have talked about business models and the team size. We'll be covering more topics with multiple founders from India, from Nigeria, US, and even Europe. I hope like you enjoy this podcast and you get a lot of learning from actual founders who are working on ground and making some huge difference for the market space, and at the same time making a huge unicorns. And we can inspire from these people and make sure like we are implementing these things with our own startup. I'll try to understand your bit of background, like where you come from. Like maybe you work with some companies and you got some mentor. So we'll just go in some past, and we'll try to come today's, like how you started the whole journey. So
Right.
bit about your background then.
See, I'm basically born and brought up in Pune. I did my school from Rosary School, Pune. I did my graduation from Symbiosis Arts and Commerce College. I did my MBA from Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute. And my first job, I got recruited I'm a campus secretary at Tata Infomedia Limited, wherein I come from a very good sales background. So, after that, I moved on with ICICI Prudential, with Tata AIG, with so many other companies. And from 2011 onwards, I launched my own recruitment firm. So there, we were involved into end-to-end recruitment. We have been, giving recruitment services right from freshers to mid-level to CXO level job openings. So we had a team. Our team is already in place. We already have our office in place. So day in and day out, we I used to talk to not only HR executives but also HR managers, to HR heads, to their CEOs, to their MDs also. And on the other front, we were directly in touch with freshers or mid-level candidates and CXO level candidates. So we were a catalyst. So 10 years passed so fast, but then we are a catalyst and we have been directly interacting with both the fronts. So I understand how it feels like when an HR's KPI is affected by no shows on date of joining or cultural misfit, when it takes a longer time to hire, and despite putting all those efforts, his KPI is getting affected. And on the other hand, I'm directly interacting with a lot of students, candidates, freelancers, freshers, and experienced candidates also, wherein they are not only looking for jobs, they are looking for careers also. They want to peep into the company's culture. They want to know more about. They want to look beyond salary and job description also. I faced a lot of candidates when we used to send say interview mails to look beyond the job description. What he meant is he wanted to look into his company culture. See, he's going to spend 8 to 10 hours in that company. So his intention was to what kind of company culture is this? He wanted to know more. Once I so I started realizing, so it's not only that jobs they are looking for, they were looking for careers also. They were not
Okay.
only careers they are looking for, they wanted to peep into the company's culture also. Research says, LinkedIn Global Talent Trends report says that as high as 66% of the candidates want to know more about the company culture before taking up the job offer. As high as 50% of the candidates want to know more about the perks and benefits what the company is offering. As high as 55% of the candidates are interested in company's vision and mission before they take up the job offer. So gone are the days, like I have rightfully said, so recruitment is not a sales job. Gone are the days like yeah, this is job description, this is skill sets, and see, it's not shadi.com at the end of the day. It is beyond job description and your education and your experience.
Right, right. I think you added a very good point, right? The gone are the days for, recruiting people. People are checking on companies. It's not a joke, right? To recruit any people. We can't, rule people with any assumptions or any false assumptions. that is going to be damaging for any company and any employees at the same time.
Right.
So basically, when you came up with an idea, right? I want to start a startup, let's say, or let's say that you have an idea. Did you had any mentors or you spoke that idea with someone where you can, take it further? Because there should be a person like your friend, your wife, your children's, or maybe, your past colleagues that, this idea you cherished with them first and then you started working on that.
I have been, directly facing this problem also. As an executive search firm, we were a catalyst in between the employers and the candidates. So, but your question more, pertains to how the entire process of validating the your idea. See, I have seen, and this is the problem with which happened with me also. Many entrepreneurs are actually in love with their idea.
Mm.
They are so engrossed and they are so engulfed in it that they start building up a product, and which has happened with me also. The first 6 months I was like only dreaming about my perfect ये ऐसा होना चाहिए वैसा. There were so many ideas, as it is, whatever. So the entrepreneurs are so much they are confident about the idea that they conveniently forget to skip one very crucial step, is validating their idea. Your passion is good here, but your passion should have a market.
Right.
People should buy your product. People are paying their hard-earned money, not because you're going to, for you to pursue your passion. It doesn't work that way. So validating is very important. Even in fact, even I do admit to the fact that even I was very much engrossed in it. But then yes, validating has a process, and it is very dangerous to assume that I know the market. This is one
Right.
very convenient mistake which I never wanted to do. Is, see, as of my market is concerned, I come from a recruitment market. Indian online recruitment market is the 13th largest in the world, and which stands at $6 billion US. In INR, it is INR 45,000 crores. People are going to pay for your product. People are going to pay from their hard-earned money. They are not interested whether it is a startup or whether you are incubated at, say, X combinator, or say Y incubator, or it is bootstrap, or it has got, it is a team of techies, or it is bootstrap, or it is funded. They are not interested in that. They are interested whether this product is going to solve my problem or not.
Right.
So please make sure that you validate your idea as much as possible in your early stages. Now let us go step by step. Now how I did it is, either you can get incubated. In my case, I was fortunate that I got incubated at Symbiosis Technology Business Incubator, wherein everything happened in a structured way. And Symbiosis TBI is basically headed by the CEO known as Mr. Yogesh Brahmadkar, who also is our mentor. So start sharing your ideas, not only with your,
Okay.
and we have got an array of mentors, like Arish Amritkar sir, or Abhay Karadegutti sir, Pranav sir, who I had a lot of mentor, even Hemant Thite sir, whom I had a lot of mentoring sessions. So during those mentoring sessions, I, started sharing my idea to them. I showed them my platform, point number one. And secondly, you get in touch with a whole lot of startup founders ecosystem. I started
Okay.
sharing my ideas with them, and unconsciously the idea started getting validated also. Because if the idea is not accepted in the first place, then definitely you need to pivot at some point of time. But then I got started getting positive response also. Here, many of you might have this problem, like, if sharing my ideas, or it may get copied also. Please don't think of that your idea may get copied, because it doesn't happen actually. May ऐसा नहीं होता, because there are 8 billion people on this world. Somebody
Right.
somewhere on this world, somebody is making the some kind of the startup which is close to you, or which is similar to you. So don't worry of your idea getting copied. In fact,
Right.
start sharing. You may have a different opinion, because I see a lot of founders also at the same time who are in stealth mode, and they don't want to share their ideas. I completely respect it, but then sharing your ideas is one very simple and very convenient way of validating your idea. Point number
Right.
one.
Right.
Secondly is, don't worry about competition. This is the second way to validate your product. I see many founders say that we don't have any competition. Boss, please try to understand, if there is no competition, your product is not going to work.
Okay.
Competition is not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's a good thing. So it basically proves that you have a market for it.
Right. Right. Got it.
Right. Only thing now, if you're already, unless you have a huge competition, or for example, there are a lot of players in my market, but then my market is huge also at the same time. So it's better to look for holes in an already proven market, and then pursue instead of pursuing an unproven market where there are no competitors, unless you are inventing or developing something like Google or Yahoo or Facebook or whatever.
Right, right.
And the third thing is, conducting service. Service may not be a very ideal way to get your product validated, but then yes, at least because survey, everybody is noble. Like for example, if you say, if 60% of the survey say, I want to, are you going to buy my t-shirt, for example, so everybody is going to say yes. So if 60% of the respondents say yes, actually only 6% of the sale is going to happen. So surveys may
Okay.
not be very ideal actually, but then because everybody wants to be noble, but then at least you will get some idea. So these are very basic and very convenient things wherein you can start validating your product.
Right, right. I just wanted to touch on the incubation part. Let's say acceleration program that you are already incubated over
Right.
Symbiosis, right? So what was the journey to getting incubated? Like how many people, or let's say how many organization that you applied, the rejection that you faced, and the success that you got from
Right.
Symbiosis,
Right.
and why did you choose Symbiosis at the same time? Maybe your idea is the right fit for Symbiosis or something similar. The people
Uh,
who are watching us, right? That might be students who don't know what is acceleration and incubation. You can also highlight the meaning of the same.
Okay, first of all comes incubation part. Incubation is basically for those startups which have just come up with a startup idea, or they have graduated to becoming an early stage startup. Early stage startup. Accelerators is slightly a better version of an incubator. Incubator could be an accelerator also. Accelerators are something who have already proved their product. They have already crossed that early stage and have started getting good amount of revenue. Also, they have their team in place and their product is already going on in the market. Now they want to launch their product as a company. So this is a basic
Oh,
difference between accelerator, incubator, and accelerator. Now, as of my journey goes from, see, I had applied to many incubators but I chose Symbiosis, and they also chose me for that. In fact, I find it very fortunate. See, this is a very structured incubator. I had formally applied to them. I had got shortlisted. I had given around 2 rounds of Zoom interviews with them. I had pitched them my pitch deck presentation, and this is how I got shortlisted. And why Symbiosis chose me, because Symbiosis is an sector agnostic
right.
thing. So they are open to startups not only from the B2C, but they are open to startups from the B2B also, early stage startups also. In fact, they are so open that they, even if somebody comes up with a only an idea, but their product is not in place. So
Huh.
they have something called as pre-incubators also. So it's okay to all the viewers or to all the startups who want to get incubated at Symbiosis, but have only an idea, not even a pitch deck. So it's okay. You can still apply not as an incubator, but as a pre-incubator also, wherein you will get all these supports.
So if I get right, you're currently building a product, right? It's an HR product,
Right.
let's say. So do you have CTO, the first question? And if not, and if yes, like how do you manage that person, like your co-founder? And how you are trying to establish this whole product journey? I'm sure like you are not from the tech background, right?
Correct.
So how does the journey goes ahead for a non-tech, founder to lead this whole product journey as an entrepreneur?
I'm the CTO and I'm the
Okay,
CEO also. And we
okay.
have a team of interns, and there is one co-director also who is also the co-founder, and she is my wife, and she is also directly involved into the recruitment process. So
Oh
she
wow.
knows. So we are a team of tech recruiters for whom recruitment is not only passion but a profession also.
Okay, okay, okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. I just wanted to, like interns, right? When we say interns, and every initial stage startup, they have interns and not full time. So how do you manage them? Like, the critical points to explain them the technical language, and there are a lot of queries these interns have. So how do you solve that issues with them?
See, not every intern can become my employee. First, I need to talk to him, understand what he is basically looking for. What kind of
Okay.
job he is basically looking for. Because many interns come only with the idea that chalo kuch time pass karenge. So these interns basically that is out of question. So I need to sit with them, understand what they are looking for. See, these interns, there are in fact, I will put it the other way around. There is so much. See, I come from a very different generation. My age is 47 now, and
Okay.
there is so much to learn. I see a lot of young entrepreneurs. For me, I put myself in an advantageous position. When I had joined here, some of the startups, I thought that what is a mentor.
That's perfect. Now once the product is ready, now you have to go into the market, right? So it's
Right.
a very tough job. Like you have to knock the doors, you have to face the rejections, and there is a lot of part that a founder has to do. So what does the market approach is to you? Like how do you enter? Like what is the response? Like I'm curious to know. Like definitely there are a lot of rejections. So how do you overcome that rejections at the same time? And how's the success part as well?
We didn't directly approach the market. There is a very systematic process that we had actually done, because I know, because I come from a strong B2B and a direct sales background. You just cannot now, everybody is so elite that you just cannot go out in the market and talk about your product. There are already 10 products in the market. So we
Okay.
basically have done a lot of research before this, and we have done a lot of groundwork also. We have we have
Okay.
uh, we have done we have gone in a very systematic process. For example, like as I have mentioned, I had started sharing my ideas, but I was so incomplete. Not only sharing my ideas with my say fellow startups or mentors, and I started writing blogs and articles on newsletters also. Now let me give you a very good example. There is a startup called Goshti.com at which is also an incubated startup at Symbiosis Technology business incubator, which is being led by a Indian Malaysian woman entrepreneur. And Goshti is an amazing startup, which is basically an information sharing platform, and it's going to grow like wildfire. Now, I have also taken advantage of it by, by sharing one article with them, which basically talks of learnability and how the industry needs to be more learnable. So,
Right.
with an author named like, Ajay Alandkar, who is also the founder of myjobfactory.com. Point number one. So that groundwork has already started. This is one step, but this is one, although it's a very small step, but then yes, the market came to know about this. Secondly, I have written a lot of posts on LinkedIn. And it's not only LinkedIn, but social media platform also, wherein which basically talks of about concepts of HR marketing, like pitch your perks, share your company's vision. Instead of just sharing, just pitching your products, you can pitch your perks and benefits also.
Okay.
Sharing your company culture, or instead of just talking about your job description. So that lot of groundwork was there. There's a lot of market awareness we have been doing. If you go through my LinkedIn, then I have shared a lot of videos also, and a lot of posts and articles also on candidate experience, HR marketing, why the employers have to do candidate ghosting, or why candidates have to do employer ghosting, employee value proposition also. So we have created a lot of groundwork, a lot of awareness we have already done, and slowly we started approaching the market, wherein we know, like wherein for example, take a case of software development company or an IT company, wherein they are facing this problem. So slowly, wherein we feel we have started approaching them.
Okay. Okay. That's
And we have
that's
already got
amazing.
around 20 plus, companies already using our platform, around 8 to 10 customers already using the paid platform. We have got 100 job descriptions, 50 plus skill sets, 8,000 plus website subscribers, 100 plus for members already using our platform for fulfilling their hiring needs.
Wow. That's really good number. And what is the run time? Like how
Sorry?
much time that did you incorporate the company and to runway?
We incorporated in 2021, and we started building our product in that way only. And we started developing revenue since around close to 1 year. It's already not 1 year, but yeah, you can say it 1 year.
One
So
year.
yeah, and we are
Okay.
still, on the growing side.
Okay, okay. There is a point, like there is a category called personas, right? So, right, I just wanted to make our audiences aware, like choosing the right persona, makes the hustle easy for founder. I hope you
Right,
agree with that point, right? So there might be around 5 personas out of 50 that you choose as a priority, and you knock
right.
the doors for the same part, and at the most, like there are only 2 personas that's your niche target audience. So how did you selected your persona?
Persona, see, my target customers are basically two target customers. One is all the HR managers, HR executives, and the recruiters who are looking to hire talent beyond job portals.
Okay, okay, okay.
And the second target audience, or the consumer persona which you're talking about, is those candidates who are not looking for jobs, but they're looking for careers, by way of researching into potential companies' employee value proposition, their perks
Okay.
and benefits,
Okay.
the career growth, the various
Uh,
learning and development opportunities, which is where
oh,
my job factory comes into the picture. We are not a job portal wherein
uh,
the candidate puts his best foot forward. We are an HR marketing platform wherein the employer puts his best foot forward by way of presenting his employee value proposition, by way of showcasing his company culture, by way of putting into practice various employer branding ideas.
oh, okay, okay.
Right.
Great, great. That's fantastic. Yeah. The time that I'm trying to understand your company and the whole life cycle of this company, it's quite interesting. Later day yesterday itself, like I met one of my friend, and he's running a company out best out of Pune with the name of Milave. Uh, so I asked him a question like what do you do to keep the team encouraged? So he recently, planned an activity. He gave the freedom for all the team members to watch pitches. There are two seasons of pitches, right?
Right.
And he said like you can watch the whole series within the day. You can order anything that you want. It's just like you have to complete the series within the time of office period.
Right.
And just after finishing that pitches, he gave an pitch like for the company, for the culture part, and where we are heading. I think that's something every co-founder should do in that particular aspect to keep the team together and take it further with the vision, right? So same question to you, like what do you do for encouraging the team and to keep everyone working with an vision and the goal that you have set for your company?
See, in fact, this is, team building itself is the original DNA of myjobfactory.com. In fact, if I go into too much detail, my job factory basically, we are not a recruitment. We don't talk about recruitment. We don't talk about hiring. My job factory is all about building the right team. Like for
Okay.
example, there I've been, great ideas fail. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
great startups fail. The best of the business models crash in spite of having the having the best founders or the best incubators and having all the financial resources in place. They are failing because of one problem is not able to hire the right people or the wrong hires or misaligned team hires. No matter how great the entrepreneur's aspirations are there, it is ultimately the team he is going to realize his dreams. And if we go into research, as high as 18% of the startups fail because of misaligned team hiring, which
Mhm.
also means that the team which the entrepreneurs are have built, they are not in sync with the company's vision, which is where my job factory comes into the picture. We are basically a team building company. We help you build team, or we help you to attract talent whose education and skill sets and experience are in sync with the founders vision and mission. They are in sync with the company's culture and organization values. This is what we preach, and this is what I practice at office.
So, like, are you making any money as of now? And
Yeah,
like,
yes,
how?
we
Okay.
have already started getting revenue. We have already, touched around 10 lakhs of revenue with around
Oh, wow.
6 to 7 paid customers. So slowly, I know I'm okay with going slow as
Hmm.
long as I'm in the right direction.
That's something very rare to hear
As
from
long as
founders.
I'm in the right. I'm not here to impress the investors. I'm not here to
Investors.
impress only that set of okay, now I have built a traction, fine. See, anybody can build a traction, anybody can have a minimum viable product, but what about the see, I'm looking to satisfy a market as a whole.
Right. You're
So
not
I'm not
here to
satisfied.
entertain investors. You're here
No,
to be a
just to
wrong.
show. Yeah. See,
Right.
anybody can get those initial 5 to 10. It's very important. I agree. But the intention is not only to get only those first initial 5 10 but I am looking to satisfy the entire market as a whole. So fine, I'm going slow, but I'm going steady as long as I'm in the right direction.
Okay, okay. What are the cash burns that's happening? Like it's like more than the profit that you're earning, or like how do you balance the cash burns as well? There are payrolls and the operations part as well, marketing and lot many things, right? Even your salary. So how do you handle the cash burn? How do you try to reduce that cash burn?
See, as of cash burn goes, we are not, spending or hiring just for the heck of it. That we wanted the team members because we wanted to show it to investors that we have a team. Most of the part, I am only doing it, so there is a lot of cost cutting also. So, and as of cash burn goes, we are earning and burning. This has been the philosophy since day one.
Okay.
We realize that we are a bootstrap company. We are not funding. So,
Hmm.
earn and burn is the philosophy.
Okay.
First, earn money, sweat
Right.
it out, and then burn whatever, however you feel like. So earn and burn is the philosophy.
Right. Right. I think
And one needs to be in this way because we are a bootstrap company. I mean, we just cannot start spending the way we want it, no matter how justifiable it looks like.
got it. Now there comes a point like you have to go into the market to understand the investor. Let's say you are approaching on LinkedIn, you are approaching via your incubated centers or
Right,
by your personal connects as well. But
right,
there are entrepreneurs who are not privileged to get their own personal connects with the investor. But there are Shark Tank. There are certain events happening in Pune, Mumbai, Delhi. So how do you plan to get investors on board at least the first call itself? So, to bring that first call in the process, how
Right.
a person from tier 3 city can get that achieved?
Uh, See, out and out, there are a lot of avenues. First, very easy avenue is getting incubated at at any startup incubator. So
Okay.
you get access to lot of not only startups, but you get at least you can meet your first investor through incubator. Startup India is already there in place wherein they will connect you to incubators. I don't know how much to how many people they have actually got funding. I'm not aware of the data. And secondly, there are LinkedIn is a platform wherein you can approach lot of VC firms and angel investors also, and angel investors platform also. Now the see that's not a problem. There is LinkedIn. There are other avenues also. That's not a problem. There are already a lot of angel investor platforms and VC companies are there. The problem is they look for they look for 30%. This is what the data given by one of the angel investors. We see 30 investors in a day. And Ajay, who is going to check your presentation? So that's not a problem. Getting access to investors is not a problem. The problem is, I would like to mention one thing here. Most of the startups which I have seen around, and even I have met this convenient problem is not being able to articulate their problem statement. I've seen many startups doing absolutely wonderful jobs wherein their startup concept goes. They have come up with amazing solutions, but they don't know that they are solving an amazing problem. So the articulation of the problem and description of a problem statement is one very important and very critical element in their presentation, which can turn around the tables. Getting access to investors may not be a big deal.
Hmm.
You have got platforms like incubators, like LinkedIn. You have got incubators. You have got many other platforms. So approaching investors is not a problem actually. In fact, even they want good startups. But your
Okay.
pitch deck has to be in place, and for that pitch deck, your problem statement articulation and problem statement description has to be in place. Most of the startups I see, they are not. If they don't know that they are solving a bigger problem. So
Oh, okay. Right, right. That's
So
an point, right?
all those entrepreneurs and early stage startups who are listening, please get your problem statement right. It's very important. And secondly is once you get your problem statement right, your solution will also differ. Your horizons of your startup will also increase. And secondly is please try to understand and do a lot of research on validation. I think I've already covered that point. And most importantly is how big your market. See, investors want to make money,
Hmm.
and your
Yeah.
product is only going to make money when you are catering to a huge market.
Huh.
So please study your market and understand how big your market is, and also get your TAM, SAM, and SOM in place.
Okay. Okay. Because of that, investor will be showing up most of
Yes,
the time.
so you should have a big market, and there is a lot of data available in the market. You can do a lot of Google research also. I mean, in fact, the same I had done. So, and those also at the same time have to be validated figures. You need to show them the sources of which. For example, sometime back I had said that the Indian online recruitment market is a six pillar, but in my pitch deck I give them the source. It's not coming out of the blue. It's a huge
Right.
market. Yes, it's a huge, and you should say it openly.
Okay. What is the last advice you'll love to, give to the community who are raising their first, fundraise, or let's say if they are going into the market with their product?
Uh, I want to ask one thing to them. What if investors say no to your product?
Okay.
Are you still going to pursue your
Okay.
right? What if they don't like your products?
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
So you need
Right.
to rethink. If you are building a product only for the heck of it, or just it was a COVID-19 product that you didn't at any time. See, this is what you need to introspect. That is why I said that you need to validate your product. I have worked very hard on validating.
Hmm.
You are in love with your product. Even I am in love with my factory. Even I am in love. Everybody is in love with the product. It's absolutely fine to be in love with it, but your passion should have a market. Oh, I am very passionate about my startup. Fine. Even I am passionate, but my passion should have a market.
Hmm. Hmm.
So validate as much as possible. Validating is one very boring and very critical thing. Even I wanted to avoid that step. But my
Okay.
principle came first that I didn't wanted to commit any mistake. You do 10 right things, but one mistake can eat up all those 10 right things. So validate as much as possible in your early stages. This is one advice and request I would give to all those budding startup entrepreneurs. Validate as much as possible.
Okay. Last thing, like, I think you are at your, early 40s, or let's say early 50s now.
47. Time
So
is
to say
flying. I'm
almost.
telling you, I see a lot of young entrepreneurs. I mean, sometimes but I take a lot of positive energy from them. But I'm 47 and time is flying for me.
So what is the appetite, like, how do you manage this whole scope? Like the appetite, where does it comes from? The risk taking part, the ability to having this, risk taking. It's a adventure, right? Having a startup. Where does it comes from?
See,
Like,
this adventure, what the word which you have used, this adventure could lead you to me to somewhere else also. I may get lost into the. See, it's not about adventure. अगर this attitude, see, अगर करना है तो करना है. I don't know what. अगर करना है तो करना है. But ऐसे नहीं कि जोश में तुम होश खो बैठोगे. Which is where this incubation role, plays, wherein I have, plays a very important role. Wherein I've met a lot of, mentors who is, cross 45s or 40. Nykaa is the best example. The founder of Nykaa happened when she was at 50.
50 kids.
So I have still 3 years, right? Right. So if you go in a very structured way, which I am trying to follow as much as possible, so do things correctly, the result will be correct only.
I think that's wonderful to know about your journey and to understand the process how you are trying to live this startup life as a founder, and all to in a nutshell, like to make sure like the audiences are getting enjoyed with the journey itself. I think thank you once again for joining our podcast.
Thank you so much. It's my privilege that you had called me and to share my ideas. I thank you so much, for making me the first honorable guest for your podcast activity. And I wish you all the best for this podcasting activity and for your own startup also.
Thank you so much again. Thank you, Ajay.
Yeah. Bye. Take care.